Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lori. I am a reseller for Poshmark and eBay, and today I have my monthly what sold video for you. So my what sold videos, I do them a little bit differently. I don't go through every single sale, but I highlight some different categories for you. So I like to every month talk about my best-selling brands or brands that I've had for 8 months or more. I like to talk about what things sold really fast or what sold for a lot of money. So I'm gonna break down a few categories for you. And every month I usually throw in like a new category, just, some trend that seemed to stand out for the month. So if that seems like something that's interesting to you, then hang on for a bit and we will get right into it. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed this far, and welcome to anybody who is a new subscriber or just stopping in to say hi. For starters, I just want to go over what my numbers were overall for the month, and I just always want to remind you to keep in mind that the numbers that I'm giving are my gross numbers, so what my items sold for. It doesn't include what I paid for items, and it doesn't include what the fee is from Poshmark. So this is not the number that is in my pocket right now. It is the number I made in sales. So for that, for the month of October 2019, my sales on Poshmark were $3,368.85. And that averaged to $108.67 per day through Poshmark. My goal right now, my goal for this year is to make $50,000 in my second year in business. So that's starting from late August of 2019 until next August, because I started my business in August of 2018. So my first year in business, I did about almost $20,000 in sales. And so this year, my goal is to make $50,000 in sales. So that is roughly just shy of $1,000 a week. So I recently went full-time. So that is just my own goal. Please, don't compare yourself to me or to anybody else. There are people who make triple what I make, and there are people who are making just a couple sales a week, and that's great for where they are right now. So this is just my own personal goal. So that's why I keep track of what I'm making per day, because my goal per day right now, in order to hit that 50,000, I think is it's like $140 to $145 a day. So that's what I'm going for on a daily basis. So last month I was a little shy of that, but I'm still building. So $108.67 per day. My average weekly sales for the month of October was $760.70. And then my average selling price, this is just for Poshmark, was $33.35, which is great because my goal is to be at $30 plus per sale. That's the average selling price. So I estimate that I make on average about $20 per item if I'm selling an item for $30 or more. So the breakdown of that is if I sell an item for $30, Poshmark takes 20%, so that would be $6. So that would bring me down to $24. And then I average, my average cost of goods is about $4 an item. That is there's a huge range in what I pay. Oftentimes I shop at the bins and I'm getting stuff for $1.39. So it could be a case where I sell something from the bins that really only cost me maybe 85 cents. And then I have picked up items that are $50 that I'm gonna sell for over $100 or $150. So there's a huge range, but on average about $4 a piece. So that's where my $20 profit per item comes into. So just wanna give you that little background information. This month on eBay, I only sold $164 on eBay. Now Poshmark, I have over 1,000 items listed. eBay, in the month of October, I had roughly 30 items listed. That has changed this month because I do use the Vendu platform, and I did just do a video on that if you want to see how that works. I've made 3 eBay sales in 1 week, so I suspect that my November numbers for eBay are going to be much higher than what they were and what they typically are. I'm selling more and more on eBay. Okay, so I have that out of the way. So let's get on to my fun little categories. So let's start with Let's start with the things that made me the most money this month. That's always a fun thing. So I'm gonna start with this beautiful coat from Desigual. This I found at Savers. I wanna say that I paid like between $6 and $8 for it. I talked a lot about it in previous videos. And I sold to another reseller who actually posted the most beautiful picture of herself in this coat, and I love it. But this sold for $90 and it sold in about 2 days. So that was a great sale. Another item, so I'm gonna give you items that are, I think my lowest selling high price item is $58 and my biggest sale this month was $150. So the next item I want to talk about is this Barefoot Dreams. If you don't know this brand yet, you should definitely be on the lookout for it. It's some of the softest fabric you will ever feel, and it's just a great selling brand. I think I've sold, this is like my second or third time finding and selling Barefoot Dreams, but it really doesn't last more than 2 weeks in my closet, and this was no exception. So this sold in 6 days and it was a size 3X, I believe, which was also a great thing. And it sold for $58. So love Barefoot Dreams. I really would, I'm thinking about putting Barefoot Dreams on my Christmas list because I think I need to own a piece myself. This next piece was my highest sale for the month, and this is kind of a fun item to talk about because this was something that I actually purchased on Poshmark. I did not buy it to resell, I bought it to own, and then it just didn't work out for me. And it is this Madewell Transport travel bag. I love Madewell leather. I love Madewell in general, just their classic style. And this bag, I've kind of been obsessing over it for a while, and I saw it, somebody listed it, and I purchased it for $45, which was crazy that they had it marked this low, and I just happened to be looking at it. I think the reason that they priced it so low is because they had their initials embossed in it in the leather, but it was black on black. So if you do monogramming through Madewell, you can do it with gold lettering or silver lettering, or you can just do it like almost like a brand. So it's black on black. This was black on black. You couldn't even see it. I think that's why they marked it so low. So anyways, I purchased it like brand new, like not a spec, like they had never even used it. But the strap was really thin and it kind of cut into my arm. And I thought, like, I tend to not travel light. So if I'm going to go somewhere on the weekend, this bag would weigh a lot. And the strap was just too thin. So I sat on it for a while and it was kind of in my death pile. And I kept saying, I should list that, I should list it. I finally listed it. I listed it maybe for $175 or $165. I don't remember what my initial thing was, but it did sell in 1 day and I sold it for $150. So, and that was actually competitive pricing. There were a lot of people that had priced it over $200. And of course I told them that the monogram was in it, but you know, the people who purchased it, I think loved it. I think I got a 5-star rating for it, and that was a great flip. So I paid $45 for that, but I sold it for $150. The next piece I want to talk about, probably one of my favorite pieces to date, and everybody's heard me talk about this Rosie the Riveter outfit. You've seen it many times if you watch my channel. I had this listed at $149 for some time, and it had, I want to say, like 40 likes on it. It was definitely a piece that was generating a lot of interest. It was super unique. It was made 100% hemp, just beautifully designed. If you go to my sold listings, you can read about the designer who did this piece. But anyways, it was like 2 weeks before Halloween or a week before Halloween, and that was really when I was aiming to sell this by, because I didn't want to hold on to it after Halloween because it was kind of costumey, even though the quality was not like your run-of-the-mill costume. Anyway, I lowered the price from $149 to $99, and shortly after I lowered the price, once I had gathered all those likes on it, somebody made an offer and it was part of a bundle. So like the bundle price, like what it actually sold for in the bundle, was $83.08 because they kind of break it down per piece, like whatever my discount was. But yeah, that was a bins find. So $83, I was really excited about that. In the end, it took about 2 months to sell. The next piece, I pronounced this wrong and somebody corrected me. I think the E is silent. So Maj, this is a gorgeous poncho made in Paris, I believe. This sold for $70. I bought this at an estate sale. I did pay up for this a little bit. I think it cost me like maybe $15, maybe not even that much, maybe $10 to $15. I did list it high. This was in my closet for 5 months. So because I felt it was more like of a winter item or a cool weather item, I priced it pretty high, and then I just sat on it for a while because I didn't anticipate selling it in the dead of summer, but I knew it was a gorgeous quality piece. So I let it sit for a while. I think I may have had it like at 99 or 109, something like that. In the end, it ended up selling for $70, and it took 5 months to sell, which I was really happy with the $70. That was a great profit because I'm sure I didn't pay over $15 for it. The next thing I bought, this was another Poshmark purchase, and again, one that I really don't shop on Poshmark to resell. I know a lot of people do, and it's something that I imagine if I ever got low on inventory, which I doubt will ever happen, but if that ever happened, I would look into that. I've always wanted a pair of good American jeans, and Nicole State, who I love, and I'm sure you all know her, but if you don't already, then you should go check her out on YouTube. But Nicole State had bought these for herself. They were these good American jeans. They were black, and they had this beautiful satin ribbon on the back of the calf that kind of laced up and like tied in a bow. And I thought they were just so fantastic. And they were too big for Nicole, so she bought them for $55, which was like a steal because they're like over $200 jeans, and they were new with tags. So she was kind enough to just to put on Instagram, if anybody wants this for what I paid, I'll sell it for $55. So I jumped all over it. I bought it like directly from Nicole, got them in, and they were actually just a little too big for me. It's not that they were big, but I wanted them to fit like tight through my leg, and they fit me in my stomach, which is kind of my problem area. And they fit at the top of my legs, but then they just didn't go like super skinny, and I wanted them super skinny. So I relisted them. In the end, I sold them for $75. So after fees and stuff, I ended up at like $60. So I sold them basically for about what I paid. I didn't make any money on these. My kids just got home from school. I'm just waiting for my dogs to bark. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go say hi. Said hi to the kids. Lulu is joining me, except I guess she's not feeling very social today because she's not facing the camera. Lou, do you want to turn around? She's having a moment. All right, so the last thing in this category for my top selling items are a pair of Corky's sandals. And these also sold in a bundle, and the bundle price for these were $61. I've had a lot of luck with Corky's, and the reason I think I marked these a little bit lower, I was just pretty easy on my pricing with these because we are out pretty much of sandal season. I mean, unless you are in a warm climate area, but I was really happy with that. So my top sales there were $58, $61, $70, $75, $83, $90, and $150. So those are my top selling brands. Okay, a fan favorite here, we're gonna do my By Felicia section. And this is the section I call By Felicia because these are the pieces that never seem to sell in my closet. And we all have those, so I like to talk about them. I think it's important to share these. And some of these brands are gonna actually surprise you. I was really excited for this section this month because there were 2 brands in particular that I was like, whoa, I am surprised they're in this category, but there's some reasoning behind them. So I just printed up my new sales report, which you can now get your inventory report from Poshmark. So that was really helpful because it had all the dates that were, the items were listed. So it was very easy to find my By Felicia section. So all of these items, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items that I'm going to share with you. These are all items that have been in my closet for at least 1 year. So I will let you know. So 12 months in my closet. I'm not really good about relisting apparently, but I was happy to see these go. These are typically lower priced items, things that I've either already marked down or when I was given an offer, I just said, yes, please take it because I was not about to counter offer because I want these things out the door. So the first item was this Walter Baker purse, which was actually really nice. And I got it at the bins on September 24th. 2018. So this is one of those 13-month-old pieces. It ended up selling for $20. It had a lot of likes on it, but for whatever reason, it just hung around for a very long time. So I thought $20 was great. I probably would have sold that for 10. But anyways, so Walter Baker, it was a really nice purse in really great condition, like cream and like an elephant gray, very nice from the bin. So I didn't have a lot of money invested. So I actually made a decent profit on that. So bye Felicia on that one. The next one, this was listed even earlier. So I started my business, I want to say on August 18th or 20th of 2018. And these boots were listed on September 2nd of 2018. This is one of the oldest things that is still in my closet. These were pink suede boots. And I think the issue with these is that they were like a 5.5. I feel like they could have been children's boots, and maybe I just had them listed as women's boots because they were European size. And they had a stain on the toe. They were something that I probably wouldn't pick up today. I don't know that I got these at the bins. These may have been like a Savers thing. Anyways, they sold for $19 and it took 13 months for them to sell. So goodbye. I was happy to see those go. This next item I listed on October, looks like 14th of 2018. This was actually from my own closet, and it was this beautiful quilted coat from Nautica. Perfect for the fall. It was this like burnt orange color with like these toggle clasps in the front. Really, actually a really nice coat. This ended up selling for $35 and I ended up making approximately $28, and that was all profit because it was just something that was from my closet. I'm not surprised that, you know, it didn't sell right away. When I started, I had very few followers or whatever the reason being, but now with more followers on the platform, this time around for fall, this gorgeous fall piece did finally sell. So that was great, but I was still happy to see it go because I've had it for over a year. This next shirt, it's a Life is Good shirt. The little emblem on it, the little logo said Good Vibes. It was one of my favorite Life is Good shirts. Life is Good quality is really amazing, but people don't want to spend a lot of money on them. In my family, we tend to have a lot of Life is Good shirts. My mother-in-law buys them for the kids every year, and it's like a Christmas gift. We always have them hanging around. So I think this was my husband's or my son who didn't wear it. It ended up selling for $15. It too has been listed since October of 2018. This had a ton of likes on it. I think just the good vibes resonated with a lot of people, but just didn't sell. I think it had been purchased once before, or like I accepted an offer on it, but then the people didn't have the proper payment information. So it was kind of a sale that was null and void that never went through. So finally it sold. Okay, the next item. This is a brand that will probably surprise you, but these were flawed and I didn't realize until I got home. The next item was listed on October 2nd of 2018, and these are actually Rag & Bone jeans. Now, Rag & Bone is a very high-end denim brand, and I typically do very well with Rag & Bone. But these jeans, so in this picture I have my daughter modeling them, and sorry, I have something caught in my eye. The issue was on the belt loop. I think whoever had them must have been like pulled them up from the belt loop one too many times. And so there was a tear under the belt loop on both sides of the jeans. I probably would not have picked them up, or maybe I should have mended them or whatever, but they were really cute jeans. I also think they were a low rise, which isn't as popular anymore. Anyway, they sat forever and they finally sold for $20. So usually my Rag & Bone stuff goes between $40 and $60, so this was definitely low for Rag & Bone, but happy for, happy to get that for the flaw that was a part of them. So that was good in the end. These, the next item was a child's brand, and kids stuff doesn't move so quickly for me, but it's funny because every month I do move a few things. I sold a Janie and Jack sweater just last night. I feel like once a week or maybe twice a week I'll have a kids sale, but it's a very small fraction of the business that I do. So these UGG chestnut, these are like a tall, like classic tall chestnut boot from UGG in children's, but they had these like fun little, almost look like fireworks, like little starburst of like iridescent color that ran throughout them. They were really, really cute. They ended up selling for $30, so I made $24 on them. To be completely honest, I have no idea where I got them from. I think I got them like at a thrift store. I don't think these were bins fine. They were in really good shape. I think I priced them much higher. I feel like even in just 1 year, the UGG name has like really dropped in value. I still love my UGG boots. I wear them all the time. My daughter doesn't wear hers very much anymore. I don't think they're quite as much a thing. So I think when I started on Poshmark, I anticipated these would be a big sale, and I had them marked like in the $50 range, which for children, it just isn't what UGG brand commands anymore. So those sold for $30. And then the last piece, which was listed in mid-October, something I picked up at Savers, and I wanted to include this in my By Felicia section because this is one of those things that I just picked up on style. This is something that I might pick up at the bins now, but probably not. The brand is called 00, which is not like a great selling brand or anything, but I bought this for style. I thought it was kind of a cute little cover-up sort of a sweater, like the waterfall design in the front, or like the draped front. It ended up selling for $15. It really had sat for a while. What I've learned is there was this big batch of pieces that I bought in the fall of 2018 where I would just go through the racks and like, oh, this is cute. Like, oh, I like this little bohemian style, or oh, I would wear this. And there are a bunch of like nothing brands that the style wasn't quite there that could carry it not being a name brand. So they have just sat in my closet. There's probably like 10 pieces from one trip where I was like super gung-ho and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of inventory. And I was just buying without really knowing brands. I've always had a little bit of knowledge of brands, but I just at the time was just picking up like what was cute, and it just didn't all work. So that is my By Felicia section. Okay, how about, why don't we go to fast flips? And oftentimes in my fast flip section, these are things that sold, I think, okay, so these are things that have that sold in 4 days or less. So I like to include this section for you. Sometimes it's totally random when things sell quickly, and sometimes it's just an item that's in high demand, and it might be something that you might want to be on the lookout for when you're out shopping. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that were fast flips, and some of them were also my highest priced items that sold. So here are a couple repeats, but let's just get into it. The first one I was excited to include because it was kind of a random thing. It was just this really cute cropped AC/DC t-shirt. It had like pastel colors on it. You know what? I'm not even including. I will post the price up here, but I didn't write down what all of these sold for. I imagine this sold for like $18 or $20 if I had to guess. Typically, if you see a t-shirt in my closet, it's most likely that I got it like on a half price sale at Target, not at Target, at Savers, and it was between like $1 and $3 half off, or it was a really special t-shirt that I spent up for and maybe it cost $5, or more than likely I got it at the bins. So t-shirts, I'm pretty flexible with pricing unless it's a really like a band concert t-shirt that's from a specific time, you know, something that people got at a concert, not just like a reproduction of a concert t-shirt. Those I'll hold my ground with. So this sold in 1 day. Like, this is one of those things that I think is random. I don't necessarily think that AC/DC t-shirts are in hot demand. I just think that I got lucky with this one. I like the graphic on it, and that's why I think it sold so quickly. The next thing was the Desigual sweater coat. I wasn't surprised at all that that sold quickly. That sold in 2 days. I'll put that back up here to remind you. This was just such a beautiful pattern, like just an absolutely gorgeous coat. Would have been sad if that didn't sell because I loved it so much. The next thing that sold in just 1 day, again, was the Madewell Transport leather bag. I keep telling myself I'm going to recycle that $150 and get one size down from Madewell, like a crossbody for myself, because I still want one of their pieces. And I loved that this was black and brown two-tone. I really like that combination. That sold in a day. The next item, oh, I wanted to mention this. This sold in 4 days. So this is just a very basic Patriots hoodie. As you know, I'm from the Boston area, and the New England Patriots are our home team. A lot of people love to hate the Patriots, but if you're from Boston, you love to love them because they're great. But anyways, I find that this old school logo is what sells the best for me. So whenever I see the old school logo, now it's a different logo now. If you know football, you know what the new one looks like, but this is the old one. And this is part of a thing that I'm doing on Mondays. If you follow me on Instagram, I do this thing called Money Pile Mondays, where I encourage people to list from their death pile. So if you have things that you've been staring at for months that you went out and took the time to purchase at some point to resell, or maybe you're not like an official reseller yet, but you want to like tap into your closet and sell some stuff, and you're just like sitting on money, like stuff that you could sell. So I started this thing on called Money Pile Monday, where I pull something from my inventory that has been sitting there. So I think this Patriot sweatshirt was my son Rocco's that he didn't wear anymore. He outgrew it, didn't want it for whatever reason. It had been sitting in my like to list pile for so long. So it was my Money Pile Monday thing. And the week before that, my death pile item that I wanted to list was my transport bag from Madewell, because that had been sitting for months. So, I like to get those out there. And then if you share with me something on Monday that you're listing from your money pile, I will share it on my stories on Instagram and maybe generate some traffic to your closet. So definitely tune in on Mondays to my stories, or just share with me what you're listing from your money pile, and I will share it to my stories, and we can all sell together and sing Kumbaya. So anyways, this Patriots hoodie, again, I don't have the price. I think I sold it for $18, but it sold in 4 days. So this was just an illustration of, you can't sell it if it's not listed. Like, list it, just take the 5 minutes to list an item and you might sell it. So 2 weeks back to back, the transfer bag and this both resulted in really quick sales. So I wanted to highlight those. This next piece was a favorite from my viewers in a recent haul, and I have to say it was one of my favorites. And I have a little regret with this piece because I loved it so much. So it was Torrid is doing a line, an Outlander line. So the drama series about time travel, Outlander. They have the most gorgeous costuming on that show, and this coat was beautiful. I bought this with credit from old inventory that I had pulled or didn't want to sell in my Poshmark closet that I brought to Plato's Closet. And I picked this up and another coat that is in this video. Both the items that I purchased that day sold very quickly. So I bought this coat for $10 and I listed it for $80. And I sold it in 2 days for the $65 here. No, I sold it 1 day. So the reason I took the offer, and this is the part that I regret a little bit, is because it was a current item on the Torrid website. So in my head, I thought, well, if people can go to Torrid, it retails for $118. Torrid was offering 30% off a purchase. And I said, you know, they can essentially get this for $80 brand new on the Torrid website. And so I felt a little guilty marking it up at all or not taking offers. So I got an offer on it after 1 day for $65 and I took it. Really, a lot of them are sold out now on the website. I probably should have marked it at 100 and then just had been patient, because the coat is so gorgeous and so unique, it would have sold for $100. And I had many viewers say, why did you should have marked that higher, or even if it's on the website, keep your price high. What do you think? Comment below, because I'm curious, like, I don't know, I guess just morally, I felt like, why would I charge more money if you can get it on the website brand new, cheaper? So that's why I priced it where I priced it. And that's why I took a $65 offer in 1 day. Typically with a really beautiful piece that I believe in, I will wait it out, like my Rosie the Riveter costume. I knew that was worth money and it took me 2 months to sell it, but I didn't mind waiting. Or that Mage cape. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. I called it Mage in my last video. Anyway, that's my little blurb about that. Sometimes you're better off holding out, but then again, out the door, I paid $10. I sold it for $65 in 1 day. That's nothing to be sad about. So that's that. Okay. And then this piece, the next two pieces sold to viewers, and that is actually happening more often, and I'm so appreciative for that. So there's this Pendleton teddy coat that somebody saw in that same haul video, because this was the other piece that I bought to sell at Plato's Closet that day. I paid $12 for it, and then they messaged me and we agreed on a $50 price. Sometimes if somebody gets to me before I list an item, I will, you know, I can do a direct sale to you via PayPal if you reach me. If there's anything in this video that you like, you can not in this video, in my haul videos that you like, you can always reach out to me. But once it's on Poshmark, it's just kind of easier just to go through Poshmark. But we probably both make out a little bit more in the deal if we do it off Poshmark, but sometimes it's just easier to go through the site. So I don't mind giving them 20%. They give me my whole business. So anyways, this was one of those situations that we agreed on a price, and then I listed it and she purchased it for $50. And this was adorable. It was like a teddy coat with like plaid detail from Pendleton. I loved it. And Pendleton is one of those brands that I love, but I can see it was marked for $12 at Plato's Closet, which I thought was very much underpriced. But I don't know that Pendleton is a big like teenager brand. So that was great. And my buyer was really excited because it was her first Pendleton piece and it was a great one. So that's wonderful. The next item also sold to a viewer. It was this Star Wars sweatshirt, and it had Darth Vader on it. It was a size 2XL. It was a full zip that I purchased at a rummage sale for $2 in the town next to me. And she messaged me, and same thing. I asked her to make me an offer, and she said $30, and it happened to be closet clear out day. So what I did was I told her when I was gonna list it, I listed it for I think $35, and I said, like it, and then I will lower the price for you, and then you can get $5 off with shipping, you know, with discounted shipping through Poshmark, and then I'll sell it for $30. So in the end, you'll only pay $35. It was the cheapest way because I believe she lived on the West Coast. So if I sent it in the mail, the sweatshirt was really big, so it wouldn't fit in a padded flat rate or anything like that. So the shipping was gonna cost more money. So anyways, long story short, we worked it out. So appreciative to everybody who contacts me in the sales that I've made through my videos or Instagram or whatnot. So that's been really nice. And the last piece I want to talk about, I wanted to feature this. Oh, so Star Wars and Pendleton, those were like same day sales because I listed them knowing I had buyers ready to jump on. So those were same day sales. That's why they were fast flips. The last piece I want to talk about, this was a piece that I saw. I happened to be out shopping. It was like a Friday night, big hot date for my husband and I. We were in Natick and I ran into Savers there. He wanted to run into Barnes and Noble. So that's what I did. And I was just going through the racks and I didn't really have an agenda. Like they weren't putting new things out. It was very quiet. You know, it was like 8 o'clock on a Friday night at Savers. And I only picked up a few things, but I picked up this sweater from LORIBOSTONFOUND. And I'd never heard of the brand before, but I loved, they had like the rock thing with their hand and it said rock and roll, and the fabric was nice, the sweater material, it was just unique. You know, like you're going through the rack and I'm like, wait a second, this could be something special. So I looked up the brand, the comps really quick, and it seemed to do well. Like I was seeing 40 plus, and then retail, I was seeing, it was on Revolve, which I'm not very hip with what's on Revolve, but I know that Revolve is a thing. So if it's a brand that they carry, it's probably something trendy. So it was sold on Revolve. The comps were good, so I picked it up. It was $5.99, and then I had 20% off. So I listed it for $65. It says here that I paid $6. So I paid $6 for it. I listed it for $65 in the morning, and then within a couple hours I got a $50 offer on it, so I accepted. So that was the same day. That was a new brand to me. So LORIBOSTONFOUND, M-O-S-H-I, be on the lookout for that. And I think it retailed for like $130. So that was a great one. All right, are you still with me? These are always really long videos, but I think they're informative. I do spend a lot of time on them, so I like to be thorough with these. All right, really quickly, I'm going to go over my best-selling brand. So 2 months in a row, Lucky Brand was one of my best-selling. I think it was best-selling 2 months ago in August, and last month it wasn't my best-selling, but I still sold 4 pieces from Lucky Brand. This month, not a single Lucky Brand sale, so I don't know. So this month, My top selling brand was Madewell, and I sold 4 pieces. Did I say already that I sold 101 items? So this month, ironically, maybe I did say that at the beginning. I sold 101 items on Poshmark this month, and last month I also sold 101 items. There's a little caveat to that I'm going to talk about after I give my top selling brands, which I will share with you. But yeah, so 101 items, 4 of them were Madewell. And then I had like a 6-way tie for second place. And these pieces were all things that I sold 2 of. So brands that I sold 2 items of. So and those brands are Lululemon. I sold only 2 pieces. I feel like Lulu's been slow lately. How's Lululemon doing for you? Slowing down quite a bit for me. I sold 2 Star Wars pieces that I thought was worth noting. So I don't know if it was Star Wars brand, but one was like a burnout tee that I sold for like $13 that I picked up at the bins that cost nothing because it was so lightweight. And then the other was that sweatshirt I just mentioned. I thought that was kind of fun. I sold 2 Levi's items. I sold 2 Torrid pieces. So the Outlander coat and then 1 other piece. I sold 2 items from Cabby. And I think they may have gone to the same person. I'm not sure. I sold 2 BB items. Do you pronounce it BB or Bebe? I think it's BB. Anyway, I sold 2 from them, and I've already sold 2 pieces in November from that brand, which is very random. That is not necessarily a brand that I'm on the lookout for, but yeah. So sold 2 from them. I sold 2 Free People items, and I sold 2 Pendleton items. So one was that teddy, and then I picked up this really pretty soft blue wool sweater, like a little v-neck in men's wool, and I sold it for $45 full asking price. So those were all my top selling brands. I like to always share those with you. And then so this is just like a trend that I saw this month that I want to talk about. It's not really a great trend. I had 9 returns this month. I think it's really important to talk about these. And the way that they happened on Poshmark was pretty discouraging because, so without getting into like a ton of detail on the returns I had this month, I had 2 pairs of boots that one had a damaged heel that I never saw. It was one that had been in my inventory for some time, listed when I was a fairly new reseller, and there was damage to the heel. It was a $20 sale. I took it back, no problem. The next one, somebody was like, not happy with, again, damage to a heel on a boot. That actually, it was a shoe that had issues, and I disclosed all the issues, but there was like little nicks in the boot, in the heel, and I didn't think that was as much of an issue, and I had taken pictures of it, but the buyer was not happy, so it ended up going in their favor, and the reason was that I didn't disclose that, even though I showed pictures, I didn't disclose in writing that there were issues with the heel. Probably because they were like little scratches, like the boot itself had like black marks on the toe, and like somebody had literally put their foot in like soot or a fire and it blackened the toe on a pair of Sam Edelman boots. Maybe I'll throw a picture up here. But that was far more of an issue than the heel. So when I put that in my description, I thought that was going to be either the deterrent if someone was going to buy them, or if they were okay to live with that black toe and think of it as like a distressed look, they'd go for it that way. Anyways, the heel was what the return. So the heel on 2 pairs of boots. The other unfortunate thing is that 2 of the sales were part of bundles, and there was a pair of Adriana Goldschmied jeans that had fading in the bum area. So like stretched out, almost like an excessive amount of wear, so it wasn't quite a hole, but literally if you sat down, it could rip open at any time. And I think what happened with these jeans was when I had somebody else doing some photographs for me, so I didn't catch it, and they had taken photos for me. I've only had a person do photographs for me one time. They did a great job. They were like 16-year-old neighbor. And I think what happened was she took the pictures and then they went in a pile, and then I listed the items, but I never really went over them with a fine-tooth comb like I typically do when I'm doing the photographs. Then they went to my mom, who packages things for me. So when they came back to me, they were ready to go, and I assumed they were okay. But in that bundle was this beautiful silk blouse that I had listed for $48. And she messaged me and said, I wish there was a way that I could just keep the blouse, but you can't. So when a case is opened, whether it's a bundle or a single item, everything gets canceled. And if you know differently, let me know. I think what I need to do now is relist that silk blouse, which I already have, and now contact the woman and say it's relisted if you still want it. But you know, with shopping, sometimes like people are shopping's an emotional thing. And sometimes, you know, maybe she's over it. Maybe she doesn't want the blouse anymore. But so that was like a $68 bundle. And then the other bundle was for the first time an issue where I switched items. I sold 2 plus size black floral tops, one day apart. One was Lucky Brand and I believe one was Torrid, and I swapped them. First time this has happened to me, that I sent the wrong item to somebody. So what we were doing was we were waiting for person A to ship me back the items, the blouse that was going to person B. Person B had bought a bundle that was $80, $67. The AG bundle was $80. So a $67 bundle. I knew I had shipped out the wrong one. So I messaged the person and I said, I am so sorry. Explained to her what happened. She said, no problem. My birthday is next week. I was buying this for myself. She couldn't have been any more wonderful. So I said, great, as soon as I get the other one back, I'll ship out your package. That way I can ship it all together, or I can ship what I have now, and then I will, at my own cost, ship out the blouse when it comes in. And she said, no, keep it all together. She was really nice. The problem was the person who bought the first shirt, who needed to send it to me, took a really long time to send it back. I think she had to get reminders from Poshmark, and she too was so nice and was like, don't worry, I can see how this happened. She ended up getting the right shirt because she mailed one to me and I mailed her out the other one. But the woman in the bundle, I was getting hypersensitive because I like to send my stuff out within 2 days. And I messaged her and I said, I just feel really bad. I haven't gotten the shirt back. And she's like, well, what would the price be without the shirt? You know, maybe we could work something out. So I said, how about this price? And I gave her an even deeper discount than what the discount was, including the shirt that I had made the mistake on. And then she messaged me back and she's like, and she just said, at this point, maybe you should just cancel the whole order. And I was so sad because she was right. I mean, it was over a week that she had waited. She was really patient in the beginning. And honestly, if I hadn't messaged her the second time to say, I'm feeling badly that it isn't in, do you want me to send this portion to you? She probably wouldn't have canceled. But I think I put more doubt in her brain. So when she finally messaged me back, she's like, just cancel the whole order. And that stunk because it was a great order. It was a 3-piece bundle. So I actually have one of the shirts from that order that, and it was her birthday. So I just felt bad about it. So I think I'm gonna send one of the shirts. One of them was a Free People New with Tag shirt that I got at Nordstrom Rack for like $3. I think I'm gonna just send that to her like as a belated birthday gift with an apology letter because I just felt really bad. Anyway, I wanted to include this section because my mistakes, my returns this month totaled $189 and 9 pieces because many of the pieces that were affected by the returns were in bundles. And so I lost everything in those sales. So just be really careful when you're packaging bundles. And that's that. So kind of a long explanation on that, but I think it's important to talk about all aspects, and that's what happened. And in all cases, the customers were wonderful. It was really just my end, and it was unfortunate that other pieces were affected. And I wish there was a way Poshmark could do like a partial credit on an item within a bundle instead of having to cancel the whole thing. So maybe over time they'll be able to have that as a function. And one other thing I just want to talk about on a positive note, because that was like a sad portion of this video, it made me sad. There was one item, it was a Colmar vintage snowsuit, like a full piece ski suit, which I've done pretty well with buying the vintage ones like from the 80s. I listed it all over the summer. It was lowered to $19 at one point because I had it for like 6 months and it was kind of a bulky piece and I wanted to get rid of it. Anyways, I raised the price, which I don't think many of us do. I know we lower the prices a lot, but I raised the price up to $45 and it sold for me. So this is here. I'm not sure if it sold for $45 or if I took an offer on it, but I wanted to mention that in my what sold video because I think it's important. If you're out of season when you list something, or something didn't sell when it was in season, and then you go into a 6-month period where it's completely out of season, like from, you know, April to October or whatever. So then I finally raised the price on it. It wasn't a relist. I just raised the price on it. And then I sold it for a better price. So that wraps up my what sold video for this month of October 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little something. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe and comment and all that fun stuff. I really appreciate you hanging out with me all this time for this video. Thanks everyone so much. Have a wonderful day.